Jack and the Magical Beanstalk. Once upon a time, in a cozy little cottage nestled on the edge of a vast forest, lived a young boy named Jack. Jack was a kind-hearted, adventurous boy who lived with his loving mother. They were not wealthy, but they had enough to get by. One day, Jack's mother called him into the kitchen. "Jack," she said with a worried look, "we are running out of food, and we don't have any money left. What are we going to do?" Jack thought for a moment and remembered the stories his mother used to tell him about a legendary beanstalk that grew high into the sky. It was said that at the top of the beanstalk, there was a giant's castle filled with treasures beyond imagination. "I know what to do, Mother," Jack exclaimed with determination. "I will go into the village and trade our cow, Milky White, for some food. I promise to get a good deal." His mother hesitated, but finally agreed, hoping that Jack would return with enough food to last them through the harsh winter. So Jack set off with Milky White, heading for the village. On the way, he came across a mysterious old man who was willing to trade 5 magic beans for their cow. Jack thought it was a fantastic deal and eagerly made the trade, imagining the look of delight on his mother's face when he returned with these unique beans. But when he returned home, his mother was not pleased. "Jack, how could you trade our cow for these strange beans? What good are they?" Jack tried to reassure her. "Don't worry, Mother. These beans are not ordinary, they are magic beans. I have a feeling something amazing will happen." His mother sighed and agreed, though she had her doubts. She planted the beans outside their cottage and went to bed, hoping for a better future. That night, as Jack slept, something magical began to happen. The beans sprouted and grew at an astonishing rate. By morning, they had turned into a colossal beanstalk that stretched high into the sky, disappearing among the clouds. Jack woke up to the sight of the gigantic beanstalk and couldn't believe his eyes. Excitement bubbled inside him, and without wasting a moment, he decided to climb the beanstalk. Hand over hand, he ascended higher and higher into the sky until he reached a place that seemed to be above the clouds. There, he found himself standing before a vast, mysterious castle. As Jack entered the castle, he noticed that everything was enormous. The furniture was massive, and the doorways were so tall that he had to tiptoe to see through them. But what surprised him the most was the golden treasure scattered all around the castle. It glittered like the sun, and Jack's eyes widened with awe. Just as he was about to start collecting the treasure, he heard heavy footsteps approaching. Panic surged through him as he realized that a giant was coming. Jack quickly hid inside a cupboard, barely managing to squeeze himself in. In walked a giant so tall that he had to stoop to fit inside his own castle. His voice rumbled like thunder as he muttered to himself, "Fee-fee-fo-fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive, or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Jack trembled with fear, realizing that he was in grave danger. He waited for the giant to fall asleep, and when the snoring echoed through the castle like a thunderstorm, he slipped out of his hiding place and began his quest for treasure. Jack managed to fill his pockets with golden coins, precious gems, and even a golden harp that played the most enchanting music when touched. But just as he was about to leave, the harp cried out, "Master, master, wake up! An intruder is stealing our treasure!" The giant awoke with a start, and Jack dashed for the beanstalk, clutching the harp in his arms. The giant, furious and thunderous, chased after him. As Jack descended the beanstalk, the giant followed, shaking the stalk with his tremendous weight. Jack reached the ground just in time and quickly pulled out an axe he had brought with him. With one swift swing, he cut the beanstalk down, sending the giant tumbling from the sky with a mighty roar. The ground shook as the giant crashed to the earth below. Jack knew he had saved his own life and his mother's, but he felt sorry for the giant. He decided to share some of his treasure with the people in the village and help them live a more comfortable life. Word of Jack's bravery and kindness soon spread, and he became a local hero. As for the magic harp, it played beautiful music in Jack and his mother's cottage, bringing joy and happiness to their home for many years to come. And so, Jack's adventure in the land of giants ended happily, with riches, a magical harp, and a lesson in courage and kindness. Jack and his mother never went hungry again, and they lived happily ever after, knowing that sometimes a little bit of magic and a lot of heart can change your life forever.